So I think was here to learn and share was asking about the Octant levels. These the Octant levels for our overall time, like our overall range, the consolidation area. All right, we just gonna drop down to a 1 minute chart, and we're just gonna look at the New York session for the day, since we already talked about all of the price action. So from pre-market to 1400, I mean 1600. All right, so again, this here is our new day opening gap for today. This is where price started trading last night at 6 p.m. All right, this is our New York morning section inside this highlighted area. All right, this is our New York morning section inside this highlighted area, and it begins at 7 a.m. and ends at 4 p.m. Let's put in the 9:30 open real quick. I had all this on here earlier, but I deleted everything already because I was in here trading a little bit today. All right, that's our 9:30 open there, and then I'll just extend that out throughout the day. All right, that's our 9:30 open right there. Make sure I got it on the right candle. Yes. All right, so all right, and as we can see, for our overall range, right, at the start of the trading day, right, we can see that price is here at the lower quadrant. That octant level there, that's the lower quadrant. That's the 25% level of the overall range. And you can see that we're working it there, right? Working it there. We go below the new day opening gap, above the new day opening gap, come back to it, above it again, come back to it, right? Drop down below it at the level, back to it at the level, down to the new week opening gap, back to the lower quadrant, new week opening gap, taking out sell side, back up, taking out buy side, use the new day opening gap as resistance. Now come back down to the new week opening gap, right? Get below it, use it as resistance, come down to that lower octant level, right? Come down, sweep liquidity, right? After the 9:30 open, right? Sweep liquidity, come back up, use that octant level as support, take us back up to the new week opening gap, right? Hang around there for a little bit, come up, set relative equal highs, drop back down below the 9:30 open, fail to get to the lower octant on the higher time frame, trade back up, right? Take out those relative equal highs at the previous day low, right? Fail to get to that lower quadrant, come back down to that lower octant level, come back up to consequent encroachment of the new week opening gap, come back down below that octant level, come back up to consequent encroachment of the new week opening gap, right? Then we come back down and then rally up at the end of the day, right? That's when I say price had got real smooth for a little bit. Then once we came all the way back up above midnight, traded back down and hung around that lower quadrant, right? Not before we poked down into that BISI right there, right? Poked down into that BISI there. Not only did we poke down into that BISI, right? If we look right over here, traded into that inversion fair value gap before hanging out right there, right? That's the first SIBI before we drop down right there, right? Traded down into it right there at that bullish fair value gap right there. All right, okay, so that's just based off the overall higher time frame, right? That's our levels based off the overall higher time frame. Now we all know time and price is fractal. Okay, we all know time and price is fractal. So if we just look at today itself, right, let's come here. Then we're going to come here. If I can get it to align properly. All right. This is just today's trading, right? Just looking at today's trade, just today's range itself, just looking at today itself. So we got today, let me hide the overall range. All right, so that's the highest high that we made back in the Asian, and then it's the lowest low that we made at 9:30 this morning. All right, so that was the extent of our daily range. All right, and then if we go right and put that in the 8th grade, put that in the 8th grade. Now look at how all those little turnarounds in between make sense. Right, and we still just gonna look at the New York session. Right, why does all of this right here make sense before we made that low? Because IPTA knows that this is as low as it's going to go. That's how all of this makes sense at these octant levels, because IPTA knows how far it's going to go. We don't know how far it's going to go. The only thing we can do is utilize the tools that we've picked up along the way to project how far can it go, right? We can use the Fibonacci tool to do projections lower, right? We can use the Timmonacci, right? What's the Timmonacci, right? As price is trading and we notice, hey, price keeps consolidating right here, right? Y'all remember the Timmonaccis, right? I remember who don't remember the Timmonaccis? All right, for those who don't remember the Timmonaccis, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide this for a second, all right? Because like I say, the algorithm knows this is as far as it's going to go on this run right here. We don't know that, but if we see, all right, price is trading, I'm put this into replay mode, right? And I'm just going to chop that off right here. Chop off, god dog it. Okay, all right. So if we come here and we get us a Fibonacci tool and we just set it up for consequent encroachment, right? Right. So what this is, right? This is a fib with nothing but the 50% marked out, right? This for consequent encroachment and mean threshold. If you're ever watching price, right? And let's just say we go up and we take out some liquidity, trade up into a higher time frame PD array, whatever, and then price starts to break down, and then you notice that price keeps consolidating in the same area. You can get a fib tool, put 50% on there, and you've just created a Timmonacci tool, right? You take that Timmonacci tool, you anchor it to the highest high or the lowest low. If it's going up, you anchor it to the low. If it's going down, you anchor it to the high. And then you stretch it and you take that 50% and you put that 50% roughly in the middle of that consolidation, right? Just like that, right? Just like that. You put it roughly in the middle of that consolidation, and then you say that is approximately where I can anticipate price to go, because price, and then you want to marry it up to like a low or a high if you're trying to project which liquidity is going to target, because price tends to consolidate at equilibrium, right? This is a way that the algorithm be kind of tipping its hand to you of what it's going to do. It tends to consolidate at equilibrium, right? Is it going to be exact? No, it won't be exact. Sometimes you might hit it on the head, but it gives you a rough estimate of how far price can go. And see, we went there and said price can pretty much go there, right? And then if we look to where price actually went and bring it to the low of the day, right? We can see that the algorithm was indeed, it consolidated here, it consolidated there, it consolidated there, it consolidated there, kept kissing it there, right? So this is the equilibrium point right? It went above it, came back to equilibrium. Above it, came back to equilibrium. Below it, came back to equilibrium. Below it, came back to equilibrium. That's the equilibrium for the algorithm during this time right here. That's how you can see it before it happens. Hey, man, that's a good target down there. Oh, throwback gang, remember that. Throwback gang, remember that. Hey man, throwback gang, remember that. And so as we see, what was I saying, the octants, we talked about the octants on the overall time frame, and then now we're looking at the octants for the intraday time frame. And you can see how when you're trading inside of ranges, right, putting it in the 8th grade allows you to fine-tune your entries and help you when price is just ranging. Because why? This is equilibrium of the overall day, right? Once we make this low at 9:30, right? So this is when we start watching price at 9:30. This is the lowest low. That's the highest high up here after of the day, right? So after 9:30, right, we're down here at the lowest low. When price starts to rally back up, right? Let's look at it. Make it practical. Okay. When price starts to come down, made a low there. We trade down, took out that low right there at, that's our lowest low. We rallied up, traded above that high right there inside that SIBI. Okay. Once we traded above that high inside that SIBI, we set a down close candle, traded down into this. Remember what I said, Tim, which fair value gaps do I trust? Right? We got two fair value gaps here, right? We got a breakaway gap that's resting in no man's land. Then we got a fair value gap that's resting at an octant. Where did the algorithm trade to? Into that fair value gap at the octant. Now, mind you, this is low resistance price action, right? If it's high resistance, where do we anticipate it going to? Back to the order block, right? Where's that fair value gap resting at? Down there at the order block. So if it pushes through this fair value gap, right, then you can anticipate it being high resistance and coming back to the order block to that fair value gap. But if it's going to be low resistance, this is where you want to see price be supported. Right? That's where you want to see price be supported. And then even if it came down to that fair value gap, where's the mandatory stop for a fair value gap, right? Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. The low of candle 1 is the mandatory stop for a fair value gap based off how Michael teaches it. The safe stop will be below the swing low. Right? So even if it came back down into that, the mandatory stop has that covered. Because why? If you come down, right, if you violate this right here, you're trading through that wick, you're trading through that fair value gap, you're trading through that bullish order block. If it violates 3 PD arrays, he teaches you're probably on the wrong side. Violating 3 PD arrays, you're probably on the wrong side. All right, 1, 2, 3, right? And your stop would be resting below mean threshold of that third one. So that safe stop in this case is where price should not go based off of how the algorithm works, right? And it's in line with an octant right there. I can't take no more. I can't take no more. Do anybody got any questions? Let me see. I'll see something in the chat.